Welcome to a new episode of our Behind the Window program. Today, I will introduce you to our MK420PS manual upcut saw machine. Our machine generally consists of three parts: the upper part, protective hood, the middle part, middle chassis, and the base, foot, part. Our machine features a 420mm diameter saw blade. Both aluminum and PVC profiles can be successfully cut with this saw. With this machine, it is possible to make straight cuts at a 90-degree angle, as well as cutting operations at all angles between -60 and +60 degrees. During the cutting process, especially when cutting aluminum profiles, the saw blade needs to be cooled. This mechanism is also available on our machine. We can adjust the cutting fluid, both air and liquid, using the switches we see here. I mentioned earlier that the saw output is operated manually. With the handle you see here, the up and down movement of the saw can be controlled, and the cutting process is achieved this way. With the latch we see here, it is possible to set the saw's movement to the desired level depending on the height of the profile. Our machine operates entirely on a pneumatic system. Therefore, the two pneumatic vertical clamps you see here also have pneumatic mobility, controlled by the switch right here. The miter we see on the machine is adjustable. To make a cut at the desired angle, the two locking handles on the miter are loosened, and the profile miter is rotated to the required angle to perform the cut. There is a safety switch on the top cover to ensure operator safety. If this top cover is opened during the cutting process, the saw motor stops automatically, protecting the operator's safety at a maximum level. The MKN300 conveyor we see on the right is provided as an optional addition to the machine, allowing for easier profile movement and accurate cutting to the desired length using a stopper. These are the general details we can share about the machine. For now, this is the information I will provide. We will perform some test cutting operations on a profile. I would like to invite our technician, Mr. Ahmet, to join me here for these tests. We will conduct these operations together. Hello, welcome Mr. Ahmet.
Hello, Mr. Eray. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I provided some information about the technical features of our machine. Of course, we need to do some test cuts to support this technical information. I am expecting your support on this.
First, we need to adjust the angle of our miter here. To do that, we have to loosen our locking handles. There are two handles located on the right and left of our miter.
Let's show this locking pin at the back.
And we have a spring locking pin at the back. We can also lift this locking pin up from here.
This locking pin is used to fix the miter at specific angles.
At standard primary angles, the locking pin clicks into place automatically. Let me show you like that. For example, it just locked in 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 45, 30, 20, 10 degrees. You can also see it with the latch. For intermediate angles, the locking pin doesn't lock. You have to manually secure it yourself.
Where do we secure it from?
We use our locking handles here again.
For intermediate degrees, we secure the head, the miter, by using the tightening nuts here.
For example, I will make a cut at 0 degrees right now. I've locked my locking pin here, and tightened my handles at 0 degrees. Machine is currently ready for cutting in terms of the angle. I am lifting my cover.
We are lifting the cover. First, we need to adjust the height level of the saw here.
First, I slide my profile in. Assuming I don't know the profile's height right now, I will show you how to set the level manually. I manually check to see at what level the saw clears the profile.
It needs to pass it just a little bit, right?
Yes, right now it clears it at 125 millimeters for me. I set it to 125 millimeters so that it doesn't go any higher. I make my adjustment here. Next, I need to position my profile where I want to cut it. I get assistance from the MKN 300 for that.
We adjust the stopper over there.
I take my measurement from here. For example, I will cut 200 centimeters. I come here and fix it at 200 centimeters. I lean the back of my profile against it. I can adjust my pistons from here by loosening them like this, moving them left and right, or forward and backward. I set my piston this way. Then I adjust my other piston, forward and backward, right and left. I can also adjust the up and down position this way. After setting my pistons, I secure them. Since I've adjusted them to the most optimal position for me.
The saw pistons need to be in a position where they won't accidentally be cut.
Exactly, it shouldn't cut our clamping pads. Then I close it.
We have secured the profile.
The profile is secured now. I close my cover. I start my motor. Then I slowly complete my cut. Afterward, I stop my motor.
Mr. Ahmet has completed the cutting process. Now we want to inspect the cut pieces. We are checking the cut surfaces. A highly successful, burr-free cut. Thank you, Mr. Ahmet. By the way, I'd like to remind everyone of something. If I remember correctly, the capacity of the motor we use for cutting is 2.2 kilowatt.
Yes, that is correct. It has a 2.2 kilowatt and AC motor.
Of course, an absolutely crucial point here is that we must use the cooling fluid when cutting aluminum profiles.
Since we manually control the cooling fluid and the vertical speed, the speed at which we bring the saw up is very important here.
Yes, as the profile thickness increases, we need to apply a slower movement. The machine already has a cutting diagram for its capacity, making it possible to determine the appropriate width and profile height from that diagram. I also want to talk about another technical feature of our machine. Besides horizontal cutting, this machine also has the ability to cut profiles vertically like this. Of course, to do this, some mechanical changes need to be made to the machine. As you know, there was a guard cover on the machine. We removed that cover. In its place, we installed the mechanism you see here. This is the safety mechanism required for vertical cutting, meaning we have to attach this apparatus to cut the profile in this manner. Now we are going to do a trial cut. I would like to invite Mr. Ahmet back here. He will explain how he performs this cutting process. Tell us what we did and explain the steps, Mr. Ahmet.
We completely removed the upper miter from where the locking handles are. We mounted our apparatus here to this section, from this side.
Mr. Ahmet, we provide this apparatus alongside the machine, don't we?
Yes, it comes included as part of the hardware.
So it's an apparatus used specifically for this vertical cutting. I see a switch here. What are we going to do with it?
The switch here stays attached magnetically onto our yellow part.
That was the switch left over from the previous cover.
It was a fixed magnetic switch on the previous cover. We take it from there, and we can attach it to its spot here. Since this area is already magnetic, it just stays there. Unfortunately, Our cover switch safety feature is bypassed here.
So we need to execute a much more careful cutting process here.
We need to execute a more careful cut. First of all, we need to adjust the height of the area we are going to cut from the front.
You already made this adjustment based on the profile's height, and we lock the level of the saw. This means the saw remains fixed in the up position.
Since our saw will constantly stay up, we will handle all operations from the back.
So, the top of the saw is just slightly above the height of the profile.
We want the saw to be just a few millimeters higher than the profile as much as possible, so that no burrs or excess material are left behind. After adjusting the saw height, I set my fluid amount, secure the switch in place, and turn on my motor.
Alright then, let's do the cut. We are going to take this section off, right?
We are just going to remove that section.
Okay, let's see. Yes, we have cut this lath. It turned out to be a very nice cut. We brought it down to the same level. And with this, we have successfully completed our vertical cutting process. Thank you, Mr. Ahmet.
You're welcome. I am turning off our motor here and taking my leave.
I want to thank our colleague Ahmet very much for his assistance during the test runs. These are the details we wanted to present regarding this machine. See you again in the next episode of our Behind the Window program.